Hey Clashers, the Dragon Duke is now in the game, and this is the reason why Supercell has shared a couple of my strategies within the cookbook for the town level 15, 16, 17, and 18. And today we're going to break down those strategies so you know exactly how to play them, how to make them use, especially now during the Clan War League. As well, I will have a couple of comments for each individual Town Hall level. So let's kick things off with the first one, which is going to be for Town Hall 15. And don't worry, if you're Town Hall 16 or 17, whatever, I will have those linked down below so you can jump to your specific town level. For Town Hall 15, I know most people have the life gem upgraded, and this is the reason why we have it in this army. If you can change it to the healing tome, you will have even more power, but the life gem works fine as well. The same thing applies for the Archer Queen. If you can switch to the action figure, that would make your attack even better instead of the healer puppet, but the healer puppet works totally fine as well. Let's start things off with the number one rule typically with air attacks, and that is avoiding the clan castle. For the first few attacks, it is not as crucial since we're using a Yeti blimp, so the clan castle is going to be lured anyways, like, I don't know, ice golems, lava hounds and such, but otherwise, try to avoid the clan castle with your king and queen. The next thing is use those two lightnings to take down one of the sweepers. The sweeper, which is the biggest threat to you and your dragons. Then use the giant arrow to snipe at least one of the air defenses, maybe another sweeper or another air defense, for example. Use the king in front of your queen, and then send in the dragons, the Tesloons, and as well the dragon riders. The blimp right after, but you want to delay that a little bit to make sure the Eternal Tome lasts long enough to protect it so it can actually reach the Town Hall. Your next steps are these spells, which means one rage for your dragons and dragon riders, another rage for your blimp, and this means the Town Hall should be gone. Your king and queen are going to circle around the outside, keep your dragons in the core, and then where your dragons are not going, which means on the back end, this is where you're going to deploy the Dragon Duke now. Use the ability whenever. You have, unfortunately, in the beginning, the weaker one with the flame ability, which is not that crazy, so you can maybe snipe an air defense. You should have enough damage for that. Otherwise, it's just a nice damage boost. But either way, you should be fine as long as you're using your remaining freezes and your totems to protect your dragons wherever there is any need. With that out of the way, you should crush any base, because as you might have noticed, every single attack today which I'm going to share is going to be played in Legend Modifier, which means with way tougher defenses. So if you try that in Clan War, this should be like a walk in the park, and you should crush out of those bases, especially as well if you use this in the Clan War League, for example. Moving on, we are in Town Hall 16. The same thing applies here. The life gem, most people have that upgraded, this is why it's in here, but if you can switch it to the healing tome and you have that upgraded as well, that is the better choice. The same thing again for the Archer Queen. On this one, we are going to run the Minion Prince, and this is something really important. A lot of those pieces you can use on the different town hall or just switch around as you want. This is what I'm trying here to tell you, where you have some variety depending on what you have upgraded so far. Because the approach here is exactly the same. But instead of having lightnings, we're now going to use the overgrowth. As well, because we have access to the Angry Jelly now, this is the pet of choice for our new hero. Now the Yeti. We could use it again, like in the last attack, to funnel the Archer Queen, but in this one, we don't really need it. Instead, use it on the other corner where your Archer Queen is not placed to help a little bit with the funneling and pathing. Then the dragons in between, with your warden behind, your blimp. Remember, you can just add a couple of dragon riders as well if you want to, but all dragons are completely fine as well. And then just send the blimp to the town hall. For me, I was pretty confident that would have reached the town hall, so I did not even bother to use the warden ability. Rage up the blimp at the town hall, rage up your dragons whenever it's needed, and use the overgrowth in two different ways. Create pathing for your dragons or protect them from damage, or if possible, do both at the same time. If you have a way of telling where your dragons are going, use your Dragon Duke again in the area where your other air troops are not located, which means for us on the far left side. And now if you have the stun blast equipment on the like Dragon Duke, he is going to crush anything on this back end. Even against heroes, he does not care. If needed, protect him with freezes or like a totem or something, but he will crush any defense which is left, while your other dragons are still alive, still happy, and still wrecking those bases. With that being said, you can easily tell, right? Like, this is completely crushed. And this is overall pretty much the exact same approach as what we had with Town Hall 15. On Town Hall 15, if you have the minion prince leveled, or good equipments on the minion prince, and you do not have the best equipments on the king, you could just use the minion prince on Town Hall 15 as well. The same thing the other way around, by the way. Let's say you have no equipments for the minion prince, just use the king with this exact army and you're completely fine. You can change that as you want. Really important to note. For Town Hall 17 though, we have a little bit of a different approach. And this is the Royal Champion Charge. That's right, Royal Champion Charge is so good. The only reason why it's not getting played that much on Town Hall 18 is because of the bomb hive. But that defense does not exist on Town Hall 17, so every base is pretty much a walk in the park with the equipment. It is super easy. But what are you going for? Well, actually you're going for defenses which are just a big threat to your air troops, and as well something where you try to get to the core to create good pathing for your later stage of the attack. For us, I want to take down the Town Hall. The reason here is that the Town Hall is a big defense, which means it's just visually big, which means as soon as that is gone, well, this just means that a big part of the base is gone and we can create the pathing way better for our air troops or as well ground troops. I use the rocket dunes to really make sure the Royal Champ goes in the right direction, and now there's two important things, and that is the cycle of invisibility spells. You're either using the invis spells whenever the last second drops from a 7 to a 6, like 57 to 56, 47 to 46, and so on. This is the first thing when there's not a lot of damage. The second option is that whenever there is a lot of damage surrounding your Royal Champ and you have the Fox alive, you want to deploy those invis spells on the 8 and on the 3. So 48, 43, 38, 33. Those are the timings. But don't worry, I have this entire Royal Champion topic broken down in the video right above if you want to dive deeper into this type of opening. The next part for this specific attack strategy now is that we have the Queen with the Siege Barracks on one part of this opening, because you can see the core is kind of gone, and we have now this top right starting option, and then this bottom part of the base, where we have as well some defenses left over, and you want to go with your Queen and your Siege Barracks into the part of the base where there is less damage, and the Dragons then into the part where there is more damage. This entire top side, there's a little bit more damage, and this is why we have the Dragons over there. The next part is just with the Dragon Duke. And this one can be used in two ways, which means first off, just in between where you have the Dragons on your Archer Queen, or the other option would be kind of with your Archer Queen, because remember, the passive of that new hero is only getting cancelled when there's another flying troop next to it. Your Archer Queen, your Siege Barracks, P.E.K.K.A. or something are ground troops, which means the passive is going to stay intact. But usually I would try to do it as I did right here. Try to have it isolated somewhere, do a lot of work, and just create even better pathing on the back end of a base. And you can see right here, this base is completely crushed. With that out of the window, we have another Town Hall level covered. But again, remember, all of those different strategies you can up and down rank depending on your Town Hall level. So if you're a Royal Champion Charge fan, don't worry, you can play this strategy as well for Town level 16 or 15. No problem whatsoever. Just apply the same rules for the different Town level, which means play everything exactly the same, and you're going to be fine. The next Town level and last Town level is going to be Town Hall 18. On this one, we are going to use Electric Dragons. The main reason is Electric Dragons have a new level, while the regular dragons have not. And this is why we're using them, because they're a little bit stronger because of that. The approach, otherwise, if you want to use Super Dragons or regular dragons, would be the same though. But now, let's get a little bit more fancy. But don't worry, you can go simple still. What do I mean by fancy? Well, it's the same rule which applies, which means do not get close to the clan castle with your ground hero, which means your Archer Queen. But there's another thing, and that is the choice of siege machine. You can just go with Queen and Siege Barracks at this bottom corner. No stress, easy peasy. But if you really want to step things up, try to sprinkle in the Flame Flinger if it's possible to clear out a corner, because this creates even better pathing for your Electro Dragons, makes things a little bit more simple. So for us, we're sniping the mortar because that can outrange our siege machine, using the Flame Flinger now to take a few of those defenses out and create that pathing. And then we have on this back end the Dragon Duke. Super simple. But now, what happens if you're not really confident enough to use that Flame Flinger? And don't worry, that's no issue. Instead, then, just do the exact same what I'm doing right now, but just use 2 Electro Dragons on this left side corner to funnel, and then put the Siege Barracks with your Archer Queen from the bottom side. Everything else is exactly the same. You just have a stronger one corner, while a little bit of a weaker middle part because you're sacrificing a few of those Electro Dragons. Otherwise, everything is the same, because look at that now. We have this perfect funneling and pathing because of this bottom side is gone. The left side corner is gone. The Electro Dragons are getting funneled into the middle, where they can then completely unleash their Electro Dragon chains and wreck the entire base. Use the Rages whenever you're encountering heavy stacked areas of the base. Use the totems to protect everything. And then on the back end, where there are no air troops, this is where the Dragon Duke is coming in play. Don't worry, if you're sending him into like an air defense, defending hero, whatever, you don't care. If he's getting in danger, just place a totem and he's completely fine. With that, you just enjoy the attack. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing you're doing. You're just like popping the ability of the Dragon Duke whenever he's in too much danger and you maybe do not want to invest a totem. Especially good moments would be when there's a lot of defense around him. Maybe a defensive hero so you can stun it. Otherwise, you can see it right here. We have like 5 or 6 Electro Dragons alive still. We have 4 out of 4 heroes left alive. This base is completely crushed. And that's how you deploy, how you play, how you think about the armies which are shared in the cookbook. Huge thank you to Supercell for allowing me to share them in there. I hope every one of you has now at least an overall idea how to actually use those strategies, how to use some strategies in general with the new Dragon Duke. And don't worry, I will have more strategies coming over the next few days, as this was now really concentrating on air attacks, as I feel like the majority of players are playing those air attacks. And tomorrow or something, we're going to take a look at some ground attacks using the Dragon Duke as well. So make sure to follow the channel, stay up to date when it comes down to Clash of Clans, and you always know how you're apt with the meta. With that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.